turn you this way. Oh, you're wrong. Hold him. I know it's a little dark, I can't help it. This is going to be a one-take video because I haven't vlogged since we went out shopping because there's been like a family situation happening. Thursday night last week we got a call from my cousin Billy, who's my cousin Bart's son, saying that Bart went in the hospital the day before for pneumonia. Because 3 or 4 days before that we'd heard that Bart was having problems breathing, so Dad called him. Bart said, I feel a little better today. He was out in the cold, rainy woods looking for mushrooms, and that's the day he came over and gave him a big bowl of chicken noodle soup. And the doctors at the hospital said he's had pneumonia for a while. And so we had planned on Friday, when we got done in the morning doing our little shopping stuff, we were going to head across and go to the other town and go to the hospital to go see him. When I came out of the Christmas tree shops in that video, I get to the van and Dad's doing this, like, he was on the phone. And he gets off, I'm like, what's going on? He goes, that was Bart. I called to see how he was doing, and he was ranting and raving. He had to get out of there. He hated it there. He hated those doctors at this hospital. He pulled all his lines out of himself. Yeah, it was not a good situation. So, that evening when Dad was at Cards, I called Billy, the son, and I said, about 7:30 I called him, just to get ahead, like, to see if his dad really did check himself out, because Dad didn't want to go to the hospital after that, because he figured Bart would be gone, and so Bill's like, because we tried to have somebody at the hospital with him, and he said he was going to work, and he got a call from a girl's name who was at the hospital with Bart, and said, yeah, you need to come up here. Your dad just pulled all his lines out and he's getting dressed, and he said he wants to get out of here. So Billy said, I did a UE, went to the hospital instead of going to work. And everybody tried to talk to him because not only does he have pneumonia, but he has sepsis. He has the infection in his blood. And all the doctors, all the specialists, all his friends and family, everybody was like, you can't go home, you know. So they called hospice to take oxygen out to him. And so when I was talking to Billy on the phone, he was just heading back out there with a prescription for an antibiotic, which he needed IV antibiotics because he needed some strong stuff in his veins. And I said, Uncle Neil's gone till late, but I'll have him come out in the morning. He said, yeah, please, because Bart wasn't listening to anybody about anything. And so Dad goes out in the morning, and he comes back about an hour later. I said, so what happened? He goes, he's on his way to the hospital. And when we got up to the hospital, we were there all afternoon yesterday. Dad and I kind of sat with him for about 3.5, 4 hours, just him and I, because we relieved Billy and his daughter Gwen, because you only have 2 people in there at a time, because he's in a special wing or something. And he's so weak, and coughing up stuff, and they came in and did an ultrasound, and he was hangry because they wouldn't let him eat because he had to have tests. And so finally when that was done, he could eat something. I'm like, hey, you get to have hospital food now. But him trying to feed himself peaches, he would take a bite and have to stop and breathe because they have him on oxygen in the nose, and he'd rest, and he wanted to eat his pudding. I'm like, do you want Uncle Neil to feed you your pudding? And he's like, so Dad fed him pudding, and but Billy's like, your dad's the only person he listens to. He wouldn't listen to any, and then people would show up. Tanya, this girl who calls Bart Unc, showed up yesterday, and she just hugged my dad. She's like, I started crying when I heard that he finally listened to you. And so we won't be going up today because it's going to rain this afternoon. And me and Dad need the scooter and the wheelchair to do it because it's a big hospital, and of course his room's way up, way at the very end. And we would have never have made it, Dad and I, on our own yesterday if I hadn't had the scooter with us. Because I get in the scooter, he gets in our wheelchair, grabs on, and then we just go like a train. And I swear, I forget how exhausting it is to sit in a hospital and do nothing. It's exhausting. So we're hoping today that Billy will text and say what the doctors say, because, you know, on Sunday the doctor was not around at the time. But let me tell you, that ultrasound lady, she took 500 pictures in there, though, of his lungs. And then Dad had to help roll them on his side so she could get pictures from the back. And but then after he ate and calmed down, because before he wanted something to drink and he wanted something to eat so bad. And the only thing it would do is spray this stuff in his mouth that would moisten it. So he isn't running a fever anymore because he was running a temperature at home. If he would have not gone to the hospital, he would have probably died this weekend because he's very sick. But the antibiotics and the IV stuff just has to do their job now. It just has to get the system. And the problem with him is once he starts to feel a little bit better, he gets grumpy and wants out. But he was pretty tired yesterday. He did rest when me and Dad were there. And then Dad kicked back in one chair, and I'm like, okay, I have a sleeping Humphreys man there, and I have a sleeping Humphreys man there. And when the girl was still doing the ultrasound, the lady brought his lunch cart, so I was getting everything ready. I was uncovering everything. I peeled the banana and set it there. Billy had brought Krispy Kreme, so I put a Krispy Kreme donut on his thing, uncovered all his stuff, got his silverware out. I got it all ready, so when he was done, he could just eat. And in Bart fashion, he ate all the sweet stuff first. He went peaches, he ate the banana and the peaches and the pudding and the donut. He likes sweets. And then he's like, where's my phone? And we found his phone. I'm like, what do you need? He goes, I was going to call Marky because I'm like, what do you want? He goes, I want some snack packs. I'm like, huh? He's like, I want some pudding snack packs and some Jell-O. So I text Billy. I said, I'll text Billy Bart right now. He's like, okay, yeah, that'll work. So I text Bill. I'm like, when you come back, bring your dad snack packs, pudding, and Jell-O. He's like, got it. And then I think Tanya texts Billy saying, bring him some bottles of spring water because he said their water up there sucks. He likes spring water. So yeah, the rain's going to be coming in here in a little bit. And but tomorrow we're going to go to the hospital. After we do stuff at the shop, we're meeting around for lunch, and then we'll go to the hospital for a few hours, and then Dad has to go to bingo. But we just have to keep Dad close up there and talking to Bart. And when we were leaving, we were swapping out the two nurses' aides because his blood pressure was really low yesterday. Like the one girl took it and it was like 89 over 54. They think it's they're not too concerned. They're watching him. And then the one guy come in and they were gonna roll him on his back and try to take it. It was up a little bit more. It was like 90 something over 60 something. But so we were swapping out, and as I was rolling, I'm like, now Bart, be good, okay? He shakes his head yes. I'm like, you are all witnesses to this. So that's what's been going on in the family here lately. So I don't know if you're going to see vlogs lately or not. Right now I'm just trying to catch up with work. I'm just sitting down to do work. Well, first I got to get my garbage. Today's garbage day, so I'm getting ready to empty my garbage can. I got a garbage bucket. I got a bunch of empty water bottles on my desk back there. So yeah, that's going to happen. But, so that's what's going down, people. So please send good thoughts out to my cousin. He really needs a lot of good thoughts and prayers because it's not a good situation. But at least he's somewhere that hopefully they'll turn him around. But alright, I'll see you all later.